Hello and good morning. It's Anne Murphy here. How are you today? Popping in for my weekly live, and today I've got a very special guest, and it's Rachel Peavy from Blissful Budget. She's going to join us for a quick live today to talk about money mindset and your finances and how to change that. So I'd like to bring Rachel in right now and introduce her to you, and we'll get started. So I'll just bring Rachel in.
Hi.
Hi, Rachel. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Really well, thanks. So everybody, this is Rachel Peavy from Blissful Budget, and I'll just get Rachel to introduce herself, a little bit about herself, what she does, and how she helps women entrepreneurs invest in themselves and their business.
Thank you. And apologies if you hear my dogs barking. They always wait till I'm on live to start
Of
barking.
course. I just had a delivery right on, like just before I jumped on here. I thought, like, the timing's just perfect.
Well, I am, as Anne said, my name's Rachel Peavy. I have a company called Blissful Budget, and I work with other soul-centered, mostly female entrepreneurs to help them get a handle on their finances so that they can save more money, make more money, and pay down debt. I really approach money from two sides, from the practical aspect, but also the soulful, because there's a lot about money that is ingrained in us through stories that we've told ourselves, through stories that we've inherited from our families. And there's a lot of emotions with money too, and habits with money. So, I always say I can make you a million spreadsheets about your budget, but if we don't address some of those underlying stories and issues, we'll never change our habits.
So. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
I know we actually met on a group coaching program, and I guess it was one of those things. I think we discussed that it was something that we'd both been wanting to do for a long time, and it was a big outlay, but we knew that through this positive mindset that I think we both sort of have, that outlaying the money, the rewards are so much better because we have this power of positive thinking, and we know that we're worth it, we're worth investing in ourselves, and the returns always come to us because we are in that positive frame of mind, aren't we?
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's all about that, having that positive mindset and understanding, that there's enough for everyone and there's enough business for everyone to go around. And I mean, it's an enormous world we live in, and everything's online now, so you can reach so many more people. And I think, having that abundance mindset really helps.
That's right. I was just scheduling some Instagram posts last night, and I was looking at some statistics, and I think there's, as at the end of 2018, there was 3.8 billion women in the world, and only about 250 million women entrepreneurs. So,
Yeah.
that sounds.
Oh no, you froze, Anne. Is it me?
We lost you there for a minute.
I know, I lost you too.
Yeah.
We're back.
Yeah, so there's enough women out there who you will attract and be able to serve. So what would you say to someone who is looking for extra money in their business or in their income to invest in their business or themselves? Where do you find this money?
Yeah, I think there's a couple different places you can start. When you're investing in yourself in particular, I always start off with, let's look at your budget and see where the money is going. I talk a lot about something called money vampires or budget vampires, and those are the little expenses that we forget about during the year. So whether it's a subscription we're never using anymore, or a gym membership, or anything that pops up annually that we forgot we were even paying for, sometimes that's an easy place to start with to really look for money. that you can then redirect into an investment. One of my clients I worked with, we looked at her budget and we ended up saving her over $2,000 a month. And a lot of it was on old investments that weren't working for her anymore, and things within her business that she could trim too. So it's always important to look at your business budget as well and see, oh, am I paying for this scheduling service that I'm not really using anymore? And that's a few $100s a year. And other services that maybe you can replace with a free service for the time being, like newsletters or scheduling software and that sort of thing. And then the other piece of it is to be okay with, I never like to encourage people to go into debt, but to be, okay with understanding that this is an investment. And I think we tend to look at debt as something that's very bad, unless you're buying a house or a car. For some reason, those are acceptable forms of debt. So if it is an investment that you really believe in and you're going to recoup that return and you have that positive mindset and that's sort of the last resort, then that, is always a possibility to borrow some money so that you can make this investment in your business, because ideally any investment you're making in your business is one that's going to come back to you in spades. So I think those, always look where you can trim first. And if you're just starting out your business and you're looking for, that capital to start up, the great thing about online business in particular is it doesn't cost that much to start a business. You really just need an internet connection. You don't even need a website at first. You just need a way to accept payment and schedule meetings. And so actually I have a blog post that I can link to in the comments after, all about some free and cheap ways to start up your business too.
Exactly. And I think a lot of people, when they start their business, it's kind of like, well, I don't understand this tech side of it, so I want to outsource it. All these big business owners have got teams and they've got someone to manage their social media and someone to handle their website. But I think it's really important in that beginning stage to learn all of that yourself, because this is your business. If you can understand how it works, well then, and then once you start to get that income rolling, then you can start outsourcing little bits of it. But in the beginning, I've mentioned so many free tools. Like look at Facebook, Instagram, they're free marketing tools. You don't have to pay for it. Years ago, it was, published media. It was newspaper and TV ads that cost thousands. So nowadays we've got all these free tools available to us. So what 3 tips would you give to somebody who you'd want to get into that positive mindset? Like how could they, I know there's a lot more to it, and that's something that you teach in your program, I understand, is how to get into that positive mindset. What 3 tips would you give, Rachel?
I always start out with gratitude. I think, especially when you're starting a business, it can be so hard, especially if it's slow to get clients coming in. And we all tend to do it. We start to focus on the negative and we start to focus on the things that we don't have. But I really encourage my clients in business and in their personal lives to think about what they do have and to establish a gratitude practice so they can see the abundance that's showing up in their lives. So whether that's each morning writing down in your journal 3 things that you're grateful for, or I really love the idea of starting a jar at the beginning of the year and writing 1 thing down a day and just watching that jar fill up. And then if you need a pick-me-up or a reminder throughout the year, you can read some of the things you're grateful for in that jar, but you also have that visual of the jar filling up. And I think that just, sort of flips our mindset to focus on what we do have. And I'm a big believer in energy. And I feel like when you have this gratitude and this abundance energy, you're attracting that energy to you. And so the second tip would be to cultivate that abundance mindset. And I talked about it a little bit a few minutes ago, but, I think we also tend to feel like, oh, there's not enough when there is enough to go around. And there are clients that will resonate more with me, or they might resonate with a different money coach, and that's fine, because then that's not my client, that's not my person. Exactly. So understanding that there are enough clients, and that there's enough money in the world too. I mean, there's enough to go around. And then the third piece of that is detachment. And so we can get really graspy with our money, personally, and then in business, especially in times of crisis where people are losing jobs right now, and or have had their income impacted with everything that's going on in the world. And we can tend to focus on the, oh gosh, I don't have enough. And when we approach business in a very graspy way, it can sometimes come out through our marketing or our conversations with our customers, because we almost seem kind of desperate to get them to buy. Like, please buy from me. Even if we're not saying it that way, they can sort of feel our energy of like, oh God, I have to get this many clients a month so that I can make what I want to make. And so that actually energetically ends up sort of pushing people away. And so this idea of detachment is sort of detaching yourself from the outcome, doing all the hard work in your business, marketing yourself, doing everything you're supposed to do, but without any expectation of the outcome looking a particular way. Because sometimes we end up getting exactly what we want. It just looks totally different than how we thought it would look. So that's the hardest piece to me, I think, especially as a business owner, because you want to succeed and you want things to look a certain way. But, it's just that little piece of letting go and letting things come to you that can be really powerful. And it's really powerful when you start to see it work.
Exactly. I think there's, like, even though I was mentioning the free tools before, there's kind of this level of expectation that in order to be successful, you have to have 150,000 followers, then you've made it, or you need to be appearing on world stages as guest speakers and stuff like that, when it doesn't necessarily have to be like that. You can detach from that outcome and just focus on serving, just focus on giving. And, when you practice that gratitude, the outpouring of gratitude for even the smallest things, food on the table, roof over your head, it comes back to you. It's like money. It's just this positive energy flow that comes in and out of your life. And forget about the numbers. Just focus on serving, just running your business, and the rewards will come. And I think that's probably one of the things that, I know you've been successful in your business for a while, and I've been going for over 11 years now. And it's what keeps me going. You detach yourself from any expectation. That all comes from the power of serving. So I understand there are a couple of ways that people can work with you. You've got a really special deal on at the moment. Is that still going, that deal that you $100 off deal?
Yeah. So I have a budget intensive. It's a 90-minute intensive. It's so basically what we do is I send pre-work to the client. We get all a lot of information so that we can put together a financial picture, and then we meet over Zoom. I bring in tarot reading into my work, into my practice. I see it more as like a mirror or an intuitive tool. It's not really fortune telling. And they're always very powerful. So I do a money relationship tarot reading as part of that intensive. And that kind of helps us dive into some of those stories that you have around money and some of the habits that we might have developed around money. So we always start out with that before we dive into looking at the hard numbers. And so I help my clients through this intensive get a really good idea of what money is coming in and where it's going. And then we build a budget together. Every intensive I've done has been so powerful. I've got testimonials up on my website. I love doing them. And then that leads into, if they choose to do a 3-month program with me, because sometimes it's great to set up the initial budget, but then you need that accountability and just that support to continue to work through some of those stories, because that we don't fix everything overnight or in 90 minutes.
No, exactly.
So yeah, with my intensive, if you're hearing about it here, you can book and get $100 off that. I I don't think I have any more spots for August, and then I'm on maternity leave in September. But you can book now for October when I come back. And then I also am offering for 2 more weeks a free look at your money call. So if you're listening to this and think like, oof, I just can't even open my bank account and look at it, or I can't even look at my budget, and or it just makes you so uncomfortable. This is a really good call to talk about some of those mindset hurdles. It's a free 30-minute call. We can chat about what's holding you back. I can give you a framework to help like really start looking at your money. And then if you decide, we can move on to an intensive, but it's no pressure. And I love doing the free calls too, because it's just a great way to meet people. And those are so transformative too. I've had really great conversations since I've been offering them, and helped a lot of people. So
I think it's I think for people who've never heard about money mindset or the law of attraction or anything like that, I think that 3-month intensive is a really great way to really strengthen that and develop that. And then once you do it, you kind of think, how could this be working? You know, it's such a magical thing and a magical process. So I think having that 3-month time with you, and you're one of the best in the business. I know there's so many people out there that do it, but you know, you do it with such clarity and such purpose. That's what I've found out about you, and just a lovely, kind person. So are you able to share those links? I can probably do it from, but if you wouldn't mind sharing the links, and also if anyone has any questions, to post them in the group, just type #replay or contact Rachel directly. I know she knows the stuff. I actually, because I've been journaling, and I've got a gratitude journal as well, but something I've never done before that I picked up from you is I've created an altar.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I saw that on your Insta stories. I can't find Florida water anywhere in Australia.
Oh, gosh.
But I've got my little money pot and some bamboo money tree. Lots of little things there now. So, but yeah, it's just been, even the last 7 months of my personal life, when you think, oh my God, is this some kind of horror movie? And someone in, as tough as it was sometimes, practicing those little bits of gratitude every day is what it just keeps you so grounded and still so positive that there's always going to be a light at the end of the tunnel. And it's true. Well, I really want to, I know it's Sunday evening there for you, and with that big belly of yours, Rachel's about to have a baby. So, and you've got a 2-year-old, so say no more. It was absolutely lovely of you to join us today, Rachel, and thank you for giving up your time. And if you could share those links, I encourage anyone to, you know, at least just get on a free call with Rachel, because she'll be able to. We have a service here in Australia actually called My Budget, and I know they cost a fortune you know, for what they do. So working one-on-one with someone like yourself is just going to be change your money and your personal finance situation forever. So
thank you.
It'll be really great. All right, Rachel, I'll end the broadcast, and if you just hang 5, I think we might be able to just catch up after I end the broadcast. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Bye.